Hey, good evening. Welcome back to Streamlined Entertainment. It's your boy Marvin. I hope everyone's having a good evening, a good morning, or wherever you are in the world. I hope everything is well. We're going to be going straight into a video. Blaire White gets emotional telling Roseanne Barr her experience with a child predator. It's always basically an emotional that someone young had been through, especially with a child predator, and they have to grow up, and sometimes it can be a bit of a torture. But Blaire White, she's got her own podcast. She actually did interviewed someone called Shapeshifter, which was basically a man who transformed into a woman, and obviously she could relate to that. But it was just a very, very interesting story. It is actually basically on one of my videos, maybe over a month ago now. So have a look at that. It's quite an interesting video. But we're going to go straight in, and I will comment as usual as I go.
And I'm so excited to talk with somebody who I love so much because she is a big ass and I love her, Blaire White. Hi, Blaire.
Hi, how are you? I'm so glad to be here. I have your sausage. And you also, for context, I have my sunglasses on because you got me drunk before we started this.
That's how we do it here.
Those sunglasses are to die for.
I know, they're Louis Vuitton, just a little, had to bring it to Roseanne's house.
Let's try it again. Mom, let's try it now.
Should I try the sausage?
Yeah, try the sausage.
Yeah, no.
I killed it myself.
How long has it been dead?
It's been 2 months.
We've had these frozen for 2 months. They're safe.
I don't know, I believe it.
It's frozen.
How good's that?
It's actually so
What
good.
do you think?
I'm obsessed, and you know what? I need it because I had not eaten all day when you
I'm
gave me
so
the
glad.
multiple margaritas. But
Something about Blaire White I like. She interviews a lot of different people on her podcasts at the end of the day from every background, and I like that. Obviously, she now is pretty out there, pretty well known due to her shows and what she's been through. She's super confident in basically her shows, her podcast, and it's something I basically subscribed to quite some time ago because, like I said, it's sometimes interesting when people change their gender, how people take them, the problems they go through, and it's up to them as long as it's basically not affecting other people. I know a lot of people that were close to her made sure that she wanted to do the right decision, but it's life. You are what you are, and as long as you're happy,
it feels good. So all I know is you're creating very quality content because you have a eating a sausage on your show right now, and I'm going to assume that's a first. I don't think you've done that before. So I want to believe in God, actually. Like, I think I even have like a tweet in my drafts right now where I'm like, can someone just like convince me God is real? Because I just feel like it'd be settling in some ways to just believe in God, but I don't really know how. My brain kind of blocks that off.
We are Wordens, your go-to wholesale textile supplier. Whether you're looking for
I do have moments where I like inch closer towards believing in it. When I do DM sometimes, the picture starts to come.
Everyone tells me to try that.
I actually have had really, really profound realizations about my life doing it. I really have learned a lot about why I am the way I am, who I am. The only bad thing, and bad is kind of subjective here, is that it did unlock a lot of traumatic memories for me about my childhood. It unlocked that, and so initially I was like, oh wow, I could have gone my whole life without knowing that, but also I'm glad I do, and I'm glad I know that happened to me.
Yeah.
Because I learned that your brain blocks a lot out.
It sure does. And it brings things in, and I had big brain disorder stuff. I wanted to go, what did you find out? Did you get molested? Were you born this way?
I learned that my childhood was much more abusive than I had kind of realized. And I think that all people who go through, and I think you kind of talked a little bit about like your.
She's got a good point because, like I said, sometimes it comes out in later life. I mean, it seems like sometimes you're having a normal childhood, but a lot of things come out maybe in teenage years, going through puberty, growing up, mixing with other people. You can see yourself as a little bit different, and people can tell sometimes you're different, or maybe you've got something on your mind that hasn't been dealt with or that hasn't been talked about. And sometimes you only realise that later, or you start getting to know yourself as a later teenager, early adulthood, you know?
Your childhood and like the struggles as well. I think the first time we met, we kind of talked about that a little bit. I think that when you go through trauma as a young child, your brain does two things. So your brain, first of all, will make you forget a lot of it.
Yeah.
And the parts that you do remember, your brain will entirely normalize it, especially because whatever happened in your life is kind of normal to you, no matter how crazy it is. There's people who are, tied up and kept in a closet every day of their childhood, and that's normal for them. So for me, I just realized the extent for how bad my childhood was, and that it's further on the spectrum of like bad than I thought, which has been both rewarding and painful to understand.
Of course, I think it is going to be very, very difficult to try and understand it, because sometimes everything that happened to you, and maybe someone's told you about it, or it's brought up, or you ask your parents about something, they've got memories, or someone who at the end of the day was interested in you because you were younger and you couldn't discuss it with your parents. It must be very, very, very hard. Or if we were abused, it must be very, very, very difficult to trust people. But what we know now, there are so many good people out there basically that can discuss it on a professional level and see you through that trauma. A counsellor, for instance.
The rewarding part is I've learned a lot about why I have certain personality traits, and I've been able to sort of work on them and adjust them. And the painful is it ruins my view of certain individuals in my family and life and what they did, So it is what it is.
It's like that for everybody. That's like just so human.
But you asked if I was born this way with the trans stuff. That's an interesting question, because what is born this way, really? It's like if it's born this way, then that would mean you come out the womb like that. Maybe it happened in the fetus, when you're in a fetus. But then also, like, people don't really get memories until maybe 3 or 4.
Yeah.
So it's like, maybe it's something that happens at 3 or 4, and that would be perceived as born this way because that's your first memory. So
yeah,
I don't really know.
At some point, it doesn't even matter.
You know what? The older I get, the more I understand that everyone's kind of like just mentally ill in a different way. Do
you think that on some level, if you are from an abusive childhood, that would, I mean, you talk about this all the time, being disassociated.
Well, I know dissociation makes
Do you think there's a link between disassociation and mental illness?
Well, yeah, all mental illness is dissociation.
I agree, but nobody talks about it. And you and I have talked about this before. There's so much going on in America
trauma.
today that
Trauma
PT
causes.
is PT.
Yeah, I think this is correct. I think something you've got in your past that's traumatic and you can't bring it out, or that's happened to you, or was within you. I don't think if it's not dislodged, or it's not talked about, or it's not dealt with, it becomes a big problem when you get older. But like I said, it can be dealt with by communication, and the main thing is trust as well. Maybe there's a lot of people I know which don't want to delve into the past because it's too traumatic, and they don't want to leave it there, which is fair enough, but they take a lot of pain through their lives.
SD, it's post-traumatic stress disorder, and we see a lot of it. And when we look at politics in America and all this stuff, nobody ever brings up the PTSD element, or the trans community, or gay, or straight, or whatever. so much of it, I believe, and I've been in so much trouble for saying this for years, but I think PTSD is responsible for about 98% of every problem in America right now.
Right.
My thing is,
So that's what my whole thing about the bonus hole.
yeah,
They're going to make everything about 0.002% with the bonus hole
yeah.
and ignore all women.
Now I really want to find God hearing that word, that phrase.
Bonus.
Have
holes.
you not heard it?
No, I've heard it. I just, maybe not ever out loud in person. So just hearing it is just like, wow, that's fucked up.
Well, I just
It's
wanna-
like so pedo.
It's everything. It's
dehumanization.
everything bad. It's dehumanization. It's medicalization. It's it's anti-women.
No, it's like saying the hole in the mouth is the primary holes. It's the pedo speak.
yeah,
That's a clip.
Because that's what they do.
sadly.
But most pedos like the butt in the mouth.
I didn't know that.
You got your voice.
Yeah.
That's pretty deep. I do think that Roseanne Barr, she definitely says it how it is at the end of the day, and probably something that she's read about, because like I said, probably put me in a little bit of shock, but it's true. And Blaire, you can see.
Yeah. That's called opening the third portal in the devil worship cult.
What, the putting it in the hole or mouth?
The butthole. That's what gives you the panda eyes that they worship, that Lady Gaga wears.
That's a clip too, right there, I think.
Honey, they're as dirty as you can dare to dream.
I always say that getting older is learning how many people do drugs.
Jesus, that's very, very, very deep. Do you know something? In life, you learn something new every day at the end of the day, because obviously I know Roseanne Barr knows a lot of famous people, but like I said, sometimes you're still learning every day.
Drugs and how many people are diddlers.
Yeah.
It's way more people than you think doing whatever the everyone's on something. When you're a kid, you think everyone's raw dogging life. That's not the case. And you also learn how many people are diddlers.
Yeah.
Like,
No,
yeah.
when you're a kid, you find out, though, don't you?
In a way, yes, but in a way, no, because here's a small story. So I used to hang out when I was like 15 or 16 with this like 30-year-old man. And when you're 15 or 16, you think that's fucking cool. I was getting alcohol bought for me and my friends. I was getting to stay over at some guy's house and lie over where my mom was. And, it's not until you look back as an adult and be like, that was a fucking pervert. And a couple years ago, I saw on Facebook, he got arrested for diddling like some 13-year-old kid. So
Oh my
he
God.
was, that's what that is. So you learn as you get older, because when you're a kid, you think,
Yeah, he was grooming. He liked young people around him. It's grooming, and like I said, he got done for it later. So he had it in his back of the mind what he wanted to do.
think it's just cool when adults pay you attention. That's part of why it's so f***ed up.
That's why it's called grooming.
Yeah.
That's what you said.
Because it's not just physical. If it was physical, then it would look like an attack under a bridge or an attack on the street. What makes someone like having the sickness is one thing. I can wrap my head around. You have this sickness that makes you attracted to something in a f***ed up way, but like to put you in the mindset of like I'm going to act upon it is what's crazy to me. And I think it's like when you're so rich and powerful and you've been around along these it's like maybe you have less opportunities to really produce like genuine serotonin. You've done it all, you've seen it all, you have access to it all. You got to start doing deviant shit,
Yeah, it has to, the thrill for a psychopath and a sociopath is the thrill has to always increase. They're never excited at the same thing for too long.
Right.
Like being in love with somebody.
Yeah, it's an escalation.
It has to escalate. And,
Wow.
like serial killers are like that. They start out as window peepers, And then the thrill has to get stronger and stronger.
Start off on animals.
Of risk,
Yeah.
They know how to get kids.
They do.
Absolutely.
They
Well, they're
know how
the
to-
easiest to get.
They're satanic. They know how to do everything.
Depressing. Well, this
Get them on
podcast
drugs
took a
and
dark turn.
everything. Well, we went all to the dark.
We went to the motherfucking gutters.
We did.
We really did.
Well, we came up from there, so what the hell?
Because we're it.
Because we are it.
And you can't kill us.
You can't kill us.
You could try.
You could try.
But you will fail.
But you will fail.
Hello.
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 Well, I'd like to very much thank my fantastically thinking and entertaining guest, Blaire White. Thank you so much for being here. It was a
This
blast.
was so fun. I feel like whenever I hang out with you, I get like a little dose of like maternal energy that I never have because I'm estranged from my mom. So get a tiny bit of maternal vibes.
That's cool. That's sweet.
You got off lucky.
Let's go eat.
I'm hungry as shit.
Yeah, so that's the end of that. But like I said, but look, for Blaire, she's done well in where she is in life and where she wants to be. Sometimes your past, you may have a crazy past. Sometimes things have happened which weren't in your control. But sometimes it's how you come through it. Sometimes there is a little bit of happiness. She's got a brilliant podcast there. A lot of people respect her. I watch her videos because they're interesting, and you've got to keep going, you keep fighting. I thought it was a short video, but pretty deep at that. Don't forget to subscribe to Streamline Entertainment, and thank you for the old subscribers who's been here till day one, and the new subscribers. Thank you very much. I'll be back tomorrow with more content. Take care of yourselves. Bye.